multi-talented movie actress and inspirational speaker, Faith Fay, sat down with Space Coast Daily to discuss her experiences acting on the hit television series Lost, her role in the inspirational movie Soul Surfer, and her latest project as co-producer of Beyond Sight, the story of an active blind world-class surfer. Fay is visiting the Space Coast to promote her latest film and will be the special guest at her movie's premiere at the Cocoa Beach Pier on Friday, April 18th at 8 p.m. as part of this weekend's Easter Surfing Festival. The film will be shown on a giant movie screen on the beach and is free to the public courtesy of lifevisual.com. Fay appeared in over 20 episodes of Lost and recently auditioned for a role on the new Star Wars film. Well, Faith Fay, thank you so much for joining Space Coast Daily here on the Space Coast. Welcome to Brevard County.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great so far.
You know, those people who've seen you on the incredible TV series Lost will have recognized you. Can you tell us, share with our viewers some of the experiences that you had there and maybe some things that people might not know about Lost?
Lost was an amazing place to start out as an actress. I was blessed to get cast in the pilot, and so we shot for several weeks, and then I was invited to come with the main cast and stay for the first year into the second season of filming, the second year. And the caliber of acting I was exposed to daily on the set was amazing. I all of a sudden had these wonderful mentors like Matthew Fox, Daniel Day Kim. It was all aspiring, eye-opening, like, wow, they have millions of dollars to make this amazing show. They have wonderful actors that have done film and television, and this is my first experience. I just grabbed on, held on, and every day was an intense adventure of emotional crying in scenes, physical jumping over plane wreckage, and being part of an incredible moment in film and television because it set a new bar for how well writing and acting had to be to capture the American audience and the audience around the world, because it went viral online and then it was showing in numerous countries before the second season began. So
perfect. And what are some of the most vivid memories that you have of being on that show that you look back on and they really stick out in your mind?
Actors like Terry O'Quinn, that played the character Locke, would take time out of his own schedule and come to me and ask me, what are you doing as an actor? What do you need help with? What can I encourage you to do? What are you doing as a person in your life? I'm really proud of you because you're staying drug-free, you're staying alcohol-free, you're focused, you're setting goals. What can I do to help you with that? Those were moments. Him, Matthew Fox, Evangeline Lilly. I had a wonderful audition for the lead of a $5 million film during our first season on Lost, and to have these actors find out on set that I had this audition, finish a scene, and come up and say, do you need me to run lines with you? To have Evangeline Lilly say, go in as Faith Fay, go in with your energy and your passion, and let them see who you are before you step into that character and bring all that emotion.
Sure. And that led you to, your great journey moving on to the Bethany Hamilton movie.
Yeah.
It's about your involvement there.
Exactly. I had done a show after Lost that I had a speaking role on, and that director of that show eventually made Soul Surfer. So he gave me the opportunity to go to LA to audition, and they gave me a wonderful role in that show, or that film. And my time on set was amazing. Bethany Hamilton and her family were there every day. And to have the opportunity to bond with her, to hear stories that you did not get to see in the book or the script of the film we were making, really created a whole new understanding of her journey. You just bonded with her on a whole other level, that she was just 13 when it occurred. And in the film, we were making her 16. And that before that accident occurred, she shared that she'd been praying endlessly for her purpose.
Sure. And could you, I know yesterday you shared with us an incredible story of actually what happened when the shark, attacked.
Exactly.
Can you tell us about that?
In the film, they didn't cover this, but sharing private time with Bethany's family and them sharing some of these great stories, one of the stories they shared was that morning of the attack, there were other surfers in the water. And this 16-foot tiger shark that bit Bethany had actually swam underneath 3 male surfers that were in the distance of the tunnel's break that Bethany and them were at. So the shark swam underneath those gentlemen, and 2 of them were like, we're out of here. They paddled back into shore. One guy was like, I'm going to keep surfing. And then he saw a little bit of commotion and people getting out of the water, but not close enough to understand what was occurring. So the shark had swam from him over to Bethany's group of 4 and ended up biting Bethany. And with them sharing that she was praying for her purpose, that she felt ready as an individual, as a Christian, as a young girl, that, what's my purpose? I'm ready for it. I think in that moment, the shark, and this is my own opinion, maybe the shark was going to bite somebody. And God was like, there's 7 people in this area. Who could get bitten and make something amazing out of it? Who could still be inspired to carry on, grow from the experience, and not miss a beat? And it was Bethany, because if that hadn't happened, she would never have grown into the individual I think she is to this day. She would never have been in this platform where she could inspire millions of people from around the world and encourage them that whatever you're experiencing in life, you can overcome it, and great things are in your future.
Sure. So Bethany was attacked and lost her arm, and then of course she ended up going onto hospital, and there was an incredible series of events there, wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. There happened to be a reporter, I want to guess for the New York Times, that could be wrong, but there was a reporter for a major newspaper from the East Coast that happened to be on vacation on that island in Hawaii. And so she heard it, raced to the hospital, and got the story. So that's when all of a sudden it hit internationally, hours within it occurring, and that was very rare, I think. All of a sudden Hawaii was catapulted, Bethany was catapulted, the story, so that all of a sudden everybody was on pins and needles. Is this little girl going to survive? What's going to happen? And then to just every day, like, oh my gosh, she's making progress. Oh my gosh, it's weeks later and she's back in the ocean swimming already. A month later and she's in the ocean swimming and surfing,
Incredible. But wasn't her father also involved?
Yes,
in the hospital?
exactly. When they took Bethany to the hospital, it was this amazing series of events again that you see this hand that God had put over the situation, that the surgeon was at the hospital because Bethany Hamilton's father was in the operating room about to have surgery on his knee. If he had not been there, the surgeon would not have been present at that hospital. So here you have the situation where Bethany's father's coming out and Bethany's going in. It seemed everything that happened, the ambulance driver that transported her was totally on her side, prayed for her. So it was just this series of events. The shark's going to bite something. This little girl's going to do amazing things with that incident. It's okay because the ambulance driver is going to give her hope and faith on her journey there. It's okay because her father is there to support her, and the surgeon that's going to save her life is there about to operate on her father. We're just going to switch their places at this moment.
Because Bethany lost an incredible amount of blood. Obviously, it was an incredible...
60%.
Right. And the surgeon was there about to operate on her father's knee, and thankfully he was there and was able to take care of Bethany, and they crossed each other as they were in the hallway, weren't they?
Exactly. Yes. So I can't imagine, for those of you that are out there that are parents, that are fathers, that moment of not having power but almost having ultimate power, because you just gave up your moment on the table for her that will save her life. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
So
It's giving me goosebumps thinking about
yeah,
it.
you're powerless, but you actually have power, and God used you in an amazing moment,
Wonderful story. And of course now she's gone on to inspire hundreds of thousands of people. Such a brave girl going out.
Exactly. As a result of doing Soul Surfer and having that time with her family asked me to volunteer my time with Friends of Bethany, which we go out and we do surf camps with kids, love on girls. And Bethany and I did an amazing surf camp last fall in California for amputee girls that came from around the world. By the end of the weekend, we had every girl standing up, cheering for them, loving on them, having them set new goals and know that they're supported endlessly by Bethany, by myself, and by the rest of the group that puts time and energy into Friends of Bethany. So
That's wonderful. Well, and that brings us to, why you're here on the Space Coast. Tom Clark, with his magnificent program he puts every year down at the pier in Cocoa Beach through his company lifevisual.com. He always presents, a free evening of surfing movies and things at the pier, and you're here to highlight the film Beyond Sight. Can you tell us about that?
Exactly. Well, we can segue from Bethany because she actually is in the movie Beyond Sight. And in this film, I didn't necessarily act in it because it is a documentary. I produced this one. And we're really stoked to have come into Cocoa Beach to team up with Tom Clark and to show it on the beach at the 50th Annual Surf Fest. So we're going to show Friday night at 5 p.m., have bands come out, have pro surfers come out. I'm going to do a question and answer about the film Beyond Sight, about our blind surfer from Brazil who lives by faith and not by sight. We want to encourage people. This film has changed every life that has touched. Everyone that's seen it is inspired and encouraged. And it's just going to fill in this amazing weekend of opportunities to have quality time with people, be out in God's creation. So Friday, 8 p.m., the film starts after a few hours of fellowshipping, great music, entertainment, question and answer. And then Saturday morning, I speak again at 11 a.m., and we have a egg hunt, an Easter egg hunt for kids. And then on Sunday will be sunrise service at the beach as well. So we hope people will come Friday for the bands, for the film, for the question and answer, share their thoughts, get encouragement, whatever they have that they need from us, and then come back again on Saturday and Sunday for the events.
So Tom Clark, he has this, I've seen this down at the pier before. Of course, he puts a 30-foot beautiful movie screen up on the beach. It's totally free for people to come down. It's a high-definition movie. Tell us about this film, Beyond Sight, with a blind surfer from Brazil. Tell us about that person and how that documentary will inspire people.
So I was at surf camp. So along with Friends of Bethany, I also mentor kids through Walking on Water, which is a nonprofit in California. And kids come and they surf, and we love on them, and we help them set their goals and achieve things. And Brian Jennings, the director of that foundation, also makes surf films. So he happened to meet this amazing boy, Derek Rebello, this blind surfer from Brazil, and they were in Brazil doing a screening of another film. And he said, Faith, we're bringing Brian. Brian was like, Faith, we're going to bring Derek over to California, and he's going to speak at surf camp, surf with us and the kids, and we're just going to start filming some stuff and see what transpires. It happened. We started making a movie. We didn't expect it to. And every day on that set, amazing things happened. Like things unfolded that I've never seen before in film and television. It's like God was on that set every day and wonderful things happened. And now we've been showing screenings for about 3 weeks, and every person that sees this film is deeply touched. They're very inspired, because here you have a blind surfer, a boy that was named to be a pro surfer. His parents were praying that he'd be a pro surfer when he was in the womb. And then he's born blind. But the age of 17 was like, you know what? We all have trials and tribulations. In my heart, I feel like I want to surf. That's my calling. So he began surfing. And 2-3 years later, he's now sponsored by Billabong, by Cobian, by Souls for Jesus, and met up with Brian, and we're making this incredible film, and we're sharing this incredible film. And we've had him attend as many screenings as possible, because people see this film, their hearts are open, whether they're a surfer or non-surfer, whether they live in Nebraska, Florida, California, Israel. Everybody can come together and understand we all have something we've experienced that is intense and that we feel could break us, but there's a purpose for that growth. And you can still do grand things by setting goals, taking some of the helping hands that are put in front of you. And while you're doing that, you don't even realize that you're inspiring those around you.
So tell us, most people out there will wonder, how can a person who's totally blind from birth even think about surfing? Have you seen him surf, obviously? And tell us about how he does it and how good he is.
Right. So basically, he has an incredible sense of hearing and space, feeling, hearing. So you paddle out with him, and he knows what the waves are doing before you do. He will duck dive under the wave on his own and come up. So you're like, all right, we're paddling out with him. He's duck diving on his own. He's totally got this. Then we get out to the break, and he's listening to everyone's voices, so he knows when we stop, he knows when we're turning around, he knows when we're looking out the back. And there's been times when everyone's having conversation, and Derek's like, hey, excuse me, there's a wave coming. And we turn around and we're like, oh my gosh, there's a wave coming, because he could feel it. And Billabong's slogan used to be, only a surfer knows the feeling. Only the blind guy knows the feeling. You know what I mean? He's out there, he feels the ocean, he feels the waves. And then you also, when you're surfing a new break, myself included, when I go to different breaks and I paddle out with somebody that knows that break, they're encouraging me. I'm listening to them. I'm paddling where they're paddling. Then when there's a set coming in, they know the duration of time before. Okay, Faith, start paddling now. Once in a while, maybe they'll push me in if they have that opportunity. And so we do all of that with Derek. But he really doesn't need it. He's really capable on his own, because his surf coaches go out with him in Brazil, but they don't stay right with him the entire time. He'll catch a wave in on his own and then paddle back out, duck diving the whole way, and then reach us. And it's because he's totally living by faith and not by sight. He has faith that he's going to be safe. He knows he's meant to be there. You only live once. Live it to the fullest. Have faith, and great things occur, you know?
Well, that's wonderful, Faith. We can't thank you enough for joining us here on the Space Coast this weekend. Once again, folks, Friday night, April the 18th, a free showing of Beyond Sight at the Cocoa Beach Pier. It's the only place in the country that you can see this movie free, thanks to Tom Clark and Life Visual. So go down to the pier, bring a blanket, enjoy the evening, listen to Faith Fay's incredible story and inspirational words, and also hang out all weekend and see Faith at other activities as well. Faith, thank you so much for coming down to the Space Coast and sharing this with us, and we wish you the best. That we'll be following you in the movies.
Thank you so much, and please keep up with me on my Twitter account, my website, my Facebook, Faith Fay, F-A-Y. Much aloha, and thank you so much.